As you guys know, I got a chance to go to the Mint Collective this past weekend in Las Vegas. I wanted to give my thoughts on my experience at the show. Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Before I get into the Mint Collective, I wanted to give a brief update on the contest that I was holding regarding who do you think will be the NBA champion this year. And I think when I started this, probably about a month ago, I announced it. I think that people's picks may have changed over that period of time. I don't know, maybe not, but it just seems like teams are hot and cold from week to week. Some people may have had the Warriors, and now maybe they don't have the Warriors anymore. Anyone who had the Lakers might want to rethink their pick. In any case, I'm going to go with whoever participated. And, if it's just a handful of people, that's all it is, and kind of do a random drawing there. And then I think there's one person who's already claimed the prize. So we'll see if he's the one who gets it. Just a Hoops Blaster box, but I thought it would be fun. This was for my 300 subscriber giveaway. So I just wanted to give you an update on that. Also, if you like the video, you like the content, please like this video. Also subscribe if you have not subscribed already. And I really, my goal for April, today is March 31st, my goal for April is to bring more content because I think there's a lot going on in the hobby right now. There are a lot of changes. And this stuff was brought out at the Mint Collective, some of the changes that are happening in the hobby, in the industry. And there's just a lot of excitement. And I believe this, in general, the sports card market is heating up. I think we're starting to see some movement in a lot of cards. It's always something different, right? People aren't going back to base cards. They're not necessarily going back to the GOATs. We saw these two spikes, one in February of 2021, one in August of 2020. I think people are getting more intelligent as far as, well, okay, if they see something kind of going up astronomically, maybe that's not the best place to put your money if you're in high. So I think, people are really starting to buy more what they like. I think that's really what the hobby is all about, is kind of buying who you like, collecting what you like, and even the brands or whatever. If you're into autos, just have fun with it. That's really what it's all about. So anyway, enough about that. I wanted to get into the Mint Collective and my experience at the show. I just talked to another dealer today who did not go to the show, and he had mentioned that he watched a couple of YouTube videos, and he was under the impression that it's really just more a show with just booths like eBay or Dapper Labs or companies that are promoting their products. And there was that at the Mint Collective. There definitely was that. But there was also cards. It was a card show, and there were a lot of vendors that were dealing just in cards. They weren't trying to promote a product or an app or anything like that. They just brought slabs. They were ready to move them. They had nice cards and cases. There weren't as many dollar boxes. Anyway, other than that, though, there were some very nice cards. Cards that maybe you don't see every day. A lot of high-end dealers there as well. So in general, I had fun at the card show. And I'll tell you, the first night was the most fun, interestingly enough. And that was the Friday night preview night. They had sliders. They had an open bar. The atmosphere was just really cool. It was cool to see a lot of the other YouTube content creators. And actually, one of the most interesting experiences I had on that Friday night, I was looking at a table and started talking to one of the dealers at the vendor table. And we were just shooting the breeze about the Raiders, signing Devontae Adams. And after about 5 minutes of talking with him, he takes a picture of his own banner, which I thought was kind of odd. And I noticed it said LaDuca Collectibles. And right away, I'm a Dodger fan. So I was like, "Are you Paul LaDuca?" And he's like, "Yeah, I am Paul LaDuca." And I was like, "No, you're not. You're not Paul. There's no way. This guy's not Paul LaDuca." I mean, first of all, he didn't look like an athlete in terms of the size, but hey, I don't know how, I never knew how tall Paul LaDuca was. But anyway, I really didn't believe it was Paul LaDuca. And he's like, "Well, what do I got to do? Show you my driver's license?" And so anyway, I realized it really was him. It was awesome. And he actually autographed 5 cards for me. So it was just kind of a fun experience, a fun takeaway. And I even got some memorabilia from that. So that's pretty cool. I got a picture with him as well. I'll post that up here. So that was Friday night. I also got to meet Rollin' with FD on Friday night, and we got to shoot the breeze a little bit about Tim Duncan, our a player that we've kind of had a little bit back and forth with. And my brother came up with the nickname, the Big Snooze-a-mental, which I don't know if Rolling with FD really liked that term, but it was fun to meet with him, talk with him a little bit, and again, nice to meet the YouTube content creators, especially Rolling with FD. I watch his videos all the time. Definitely check out his content. He puts out some really good stuff. So that Friday night, that was really the night that I thought that was the most fun. It was a great intro to the card show because there were dealers there, lots of cards moving, food, drinks, and then, all the booths as well, right? So if you wanted to go talk to, there was a whatnot table, there were people, stand-up displays, there was a big Panini booth where you could take a picture and get your own Prism rookie. I guess I'll show that here as well. So it was just, honestly, it was a fun experience. And if card shows were like this going forward, I think we're moving to a better place. So that was my honest takeaway. I don't feel like it was just a show of display booths and people promoting their new slabs or new apps or new products. There was that there too, but that's not all it was. And if you were there just for cards, which my brother is really more about, hey, let's get into the cards and let's get into the, roll up our sleeves and see what we can find. That was there. And we were busy all weekend. So I got to also meet some other cool people as well. I finally got to meet the personal finance dad, who has now rebranded to the sports card dad. So I got to meet he and his son, which was cool to talk to them for a little bit. And then, of course, I got to meet Brad, the comeback card investor, briefly. So I got to say hello to him, very tall guy. And even taller YouTube content creator is Jeremy from Sports Card Live. I got to meet him just sitting next, or actually looking at one of the display cases. I look over to the left of me, there's Jeremy. He's very tall, not obscenely tall, but he is noticeable if you see him at a card show. And if you do see him at a card show, I would say go ahead and say hi. Dude is very nice. He's really cool. You could chat with him for a little bit. I talked to him for maybe a couple of minutes, just a really down-to-earth guy. Went over and said hello to the great curator and Merlin. Their table is always fun. They deal in Marvel, celebrity cards, not really too many sports cards, but it's just fun just to go say hi to them. And they do have some sports cards, so you can even ask them, hey, let me see your sports cards that you have hidden under the table. And a lot of times they give you great deals. So if you just kind of want to get the show started, honestly, that's the table where I would go. And I also got to see Mama Breaks again. I met her in Atlanta, but she was there in Vegas as well. I didn't get to go to any of the panels. I didn't sign up for that portion of it. And that's what I will say as well. If you saw that there were panels and speakers advertised for this show, that was a separate ticket. I think they called it a VIP ticket. And that was separate from where the card show actually was. So if you didn't get a ticket for that and you didn't even know anything about that, you probably never would even know that it existed. So I actually liked that part of it, that the speakers were kind of in a whole separate room. It's almost its whole separate event. And, you could just pick and choose. If you were someone who attended the panel discussions, then you could go to those as well. And, obviously you could come back to the card show. So I like that they were separate. I like that it's kind of like you get to decide what you want to do while you're there, and everybody can just kind of have fun, however they want to have fun. And then obviously we're in Vegas, so that was cool as well. So in any case, in general, I had a lot of fun. I really did. I really enjoyed the card show aspect of it. I also enjoyed meeting some of the new people in the hobby, the new company, or just looking to add to the hobby. But one of the cool tables that I met was a company called Do Dilly, and Jeremy talks about this company as well. If you watch the Off-Centered show with Brad and Dustin, he will talk about this in a little bit more detail. But this company was really cool, and apparently they were acquired by Beckett. I didn't know this at the time, so I thought they were just a small startup, and this guy had just developed an app, and we'll see where it goes. But they've already been acquired by Beckett, so that is really kind of a cool thing. What this app does is it pre-grades your cards, and I know this has kind of been floating out there for a while, so I wanted to see it actually work. And so what it does is you scan the card, and it somehow is able to read the condition of the card. the coolest thing that my takeaway from it when I saw it in action is that it gets the centering. It actually gives you a centering score, and it seems to be very accurate, where it'll say like 52.75 on one side and 48.25 on the other side. So it really gives you an accurate score. Now, I don't know if it's actually accurate, but you know, you can kind of eyeball it and see, hey, does this look like it's reading it correctly? And obviously they're going to stand by it, and they're probably going to, you know, make sure that it's somewhat accurate, because if you send it off to PSA and it's so off center that it comes back at 8 or a 7, then obviously this thing's not going to work. But from what I could tell, the centering was pretty accurate. Also, it's just cool how it could read the corners, because one of the cards that I used for this app, there were 3 sharp corners, and the lower left was a little bit soft, and it scores every corner. So it could give a, you know, say one corner could get a 10 out of 10, and then another corner could get like a 7 out of 10. So it actually tells you which part of the card is scoring lower. And so just to see it broken down in that kind of detail, I thought was super cool. And to know now that Beckett acquired this, I think this is really something that could really catch on, because otherwise we're left to our own devices. I've gotten really good at looking at raw cards with a magnifying glass under a light, looking for surface issues and whatnot. But not everybody wants to do that, or can do that, or has the time to do that. So if you have a lot of raw cards, which everybody does, and that you're considering getting graded, you can pre-screen it with this, and it'll give you a pretty rough idea of, hey, is this potentially a PSA 9 or a PSA 10, depending on what you're looking for out of that card. I just thought it was the coolest app. I'm gonna continue to use it this week just to see kind of where it scores. Now, here's the other part of it is you can choose to use the app as a kind of a pre-grade and then submit your cards to PSA. But also what they're hoping to do is have a platform where all the cards that are on this that you've kind of uploaded into the app, they're available for sale. So if you have a Due Dilly account, and I have a Due Dilly account, and I want to upload, say, Jordan Poole Prism Rookie, and I scan it in and it gets a score of an A+, well, you have the option to buy my raw Jordan Poole at whatever price I want to sell it for. So there's going to be this platform of raw cards that have already been pre-screened. Now, how is this going to work as far as, well, how do they know that I'm not going to swap out another Jordan Poole? I don't know. I mean, I really don't know the details as far as that's concerned. Maybe I would imagine they'll have a vault, since everybody's having a vault these days. And so when I submit the card to the vault, they'll check it in and say, yep, this is an A+ Jordan Poole. And now it's available for sale. This sounds a lot like what StarStock was trying to do. And so I actually like this idea, and I think it's because, you know, I'm used to the StarStock platform where they grade their cards, and I'm looking to buy StarStock A's, and I know that it's been pre-screened. So I think I just, in general, like the idea of a pre-screened card, and I think this has the potential to work really well. And like I said, I had no idea that this company was already acquired by Beckett, so that in and of itself, I think that it really could catch on and go somewhere. So that was the one company that I was really impressed with. I talked to a lot of different, you know, a lot of different booths, a new grading company called DCI. I saw another cool vendor that had all Ricky Henderson cards. I'll go ahead and show that, Ricky. I actually took a video of that table.
Card ladder. Geez, oh, and I've got a sheet too, if you need a sheet of all the different ones.
Best at vlogging, but I did want to get a video of this table because it was just super cool. This guy was 100% Ricky Henderson. Anyway, that in a nutshell, it was just an awesome show. So that was my takeaway. Hopefully that kind of gave you a glimpse into what the show was like. I would recommend it, even if you just wanted to go to the actual card show for $20 a day. I think it's totally worth it. Please feel free to, you know, comment. Let me know if you were there, what your thoughts were, if you kind of agree with what my takeaway was, or you have a different perspective. I'd love to hear it. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you on the next one.